Oh yes, that was beautiful. Today is a very special day. I have waited 5 days to do this because I wanted to do it with you. When I was at Dayton Hamvention, I purchased at full retail price plus tax the Yaesu FTX-1F field, and I have not cracked the seal yet. I wanted to unbox this with you guys because I am so freaking excited about this radio. So first off, let's just take a look at the box. Nice, beautiful color box. Usually the Yaesu radios come in just a brown box. They decided to make it nice and colorful. You get the beautiful radio on there. The FTX-1 field, still getting used to all those letters there. HF, VHF, UHF, all mode transceiver. Also does C4 FM. There's a look at the side. This also does APRS. There's that information there, which I'm gonna probably have to blur this portion out so you guys don't see my serial number. There's a look at the other side. Nothing on the back, but all that stuff that doesn't mean anything to me. Let's get to cracking. Look at that, first crack, first crack. Oh yeah, opens up there. Let's see here. Got our user manual. Oh, I got a map. This is the first Yaesu radio I've ever purchased that actually had a map in it. We got a Yaesu the radio sticker. Just want to say I love these Yaesu the radio stickers because it reminds me of Spaceballs. Spaceballs the toilet paper, Spaceballs the flamethrower, Yaesu the radio. So that's great. So manual, sticker, map. That's awesome. I mean, I guess we dive right into the radio, right? Because it is this right here. Look at that. Let's get this guy out of its protective sleeve. The first thing you'll notice with this has got some heft. A lot of us were like, wow, this is a bit heavier than we were expecting. I don't think it's too heavy for field work though. Time will tell as I'm gonna do some hiking with this. But in terms of size, if you have the Optima, this kind of is about the size of a 991A. Kind of similar to the 710 a little bit, but front firing speakers here. We'll get into the stuff in a minute. I just want to unbox this thing. Let's see. I think these are just fillers here. What else do we have? Okay, here is, I think this has something to do with, the radio's got a 1/4-20 slot here and a 1/4-20 slot here for like tripod mounting, similar to what ICOM did with the 705. And I think this, yeah, that just fits right there. I'm not entirely sure its purpose, but you get that. Here's the battery. This is freaking awesome. I am excited about this battery. Not only is it a really large capacity battery, it's 6,400 milliamp hours, but it's supposed to last, they say, like up to 9 hours of actual operation. But the coolest thing right here is this guy. Look at that. USB-C charging, and it is USB-C PD. I think it charges up to 45 watts if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so maybe it is PD, but it's definitely not appearing to be fast charging. I might have misspoken there. But the manual says USB PD, 45 watt, 15 volt, 2 amp. But then it also says it takes 7 hours to charge the battery pack. So I'm confused, but I have it hooked up to my Anker power bank with a USB-C PD cable that I use for all of my USB-C PD needs. And we're only putting 10.6 watts into it. We are getting 15.2 volts at 0.7 amps, so apparently we're gonna have a really, really slow charge time with this battery. It also doesn't appear to have fast charging if we have the battery connected to the radio and using the USB-C on the radio. This is a good USB-C cable. It's from Anker. It's a 140 watt cable. We're still getting 15.2 volts at 0.7 amps and 10.6 watts. So not sure what it'll do with DC charging, but with USB-C, we're definitely not seeing fast charging. So this guy here, you've got these little tabs on there, and that is going to slide in there and then in. So that's it. And look at that. It just powered on automatically. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. How beautiful is this? Is this just more filler? Yes, it is. There's got to be more stuff down there, right? Like, I don't know, a microphone? Oh, it's down in here. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, we've got a microphone clip here. Some extra fuses. That's always nice. And let's see here. Something in a bag, presumably our power cable. Let me get a knife. Because this does like 6 watts on battery power, but it'll do 10 watts with external 13.8 volts, so like a battery. Okay, so there's our power lead. That might be a, what is it, 2.5 by 5.5? I don't know. I don't even know where it plugs in. I have no idea. I don't know, we'll figure that out. And then we have the microphone. Look at that. I'm so not familiar with new Yaesu stuff, so I don't know if this is the same mic that comes with like the FTX-10 and the 710, but it's got the, let's just say this is an RJ45 because I don't know connector types. Good feel. Fairly lightweight. Feels pretty rigid though. And then you've got your up down buttons there. Mute. Oh, that's cool. Mute. I wonder if that mutes the speaker. And then some programmable buttons there. So that's awesome. So I literally have almost zero experience with this. Jason from Ham Radio 2.0 busted his out. So I do have some hands-on time with this from playing with it at Dayton Hamvention 2025. The one thing that I noticed that I love the most is this right here. These are the speakers. So these are front firing speakers. They sound absolutely amazing. I had one of these on pre-order and I canceled my pre-order because I didn't think I wanted it. But once I heard this thing, I had to have it. That was the selling feature that made me buy this radio. This thing is so incredibly loud. We had like 30, 40 people at the campsite, all kind of just hanging around, shooting the breeze. It's pretty loud. I turned this thing up to maybe 3/4. I mean, you can hear this just perfectly clear. It is so incredibly loud. This is the loudest and clearest audio of any portable or base station ham radio I have ever used. I am in love with it, and I am very, very excited to use this. The audio quality of these speakers is phenomenal. So I'll give you just a quick walk around. I am so unfamiliar with this, but I'll try my best. Top left, we've got our sub VFO dial. So the sub VFO is on the left, the main VFO is on the right. If we want to change the sub VFO, we got to use this. And for the main VFO, we can use the VFO knob. I don't believe there's a way to just have the main VFO knob control the left VFO. I'm pretty sure we have to do that, but whatever. So we can push this button and select main or sub VFO, or I believe, no, we can't touch it. We gotta push the button there. Obviously we have our power button here as well, which is also the lock. So VFO lock, long press turns off. We've got our sub DSP AF RF squelch button here at the bottom. So you can see we're on squelch. We can turn the squelch up and down. We can do the volume. I think long pressing this does something. Again, I gotta read the manual, so forgive me my ignorance of the new Yaesu menus, but all touch screen. We can change the cursor mode to center, fix. I think that's just how it shows the cursor on the VFO. We've got our 3D display, or we have a regular waterfall display. There's your spectrum graph and or your audio graph, your oscilloscope, and then your transmit. And then you've got scope, sub, or main. Your span for how wide it's gonna show on the waterfall. And then you have like the speed of the waterfall there. You've got your quick memory bank, your clarifier, your back button. So if you go into the menus, there's your back button. You can choose fine or fast. So you can tune fine or fast. That's good. You've got independent volume. So this bottom right one does the main VFO volume. And then this guy here does the sub VFO volume. Your display button, you can push that and that'll give you different displays. So just single display, dual display, or both displays on top of one another, so that's really cool. I think if you long press this, it does something too, but I don't think that's what it's supposed to do. Again, I need to learn this. And then we have our function button. Right now it's on D level, whatever that is. And if we long press this, that's how we're gonna get into our menus. And then we can hit the forward button to get more, and hit the forward button again. And then all down here, you can go deeper in, like display settings, things like that. I'm not familiar with these, so again, I need to read it, or read the manual rather. And then looking at the top, we've gotten buttons here. I think this is how you get into Fusion, holding that one. SDX, that's Super DX, I think it's supposed to increase the sensitivity of the receiver. And then you have the program memory group, as well as, that says power as well. Oh, let's go back. Let's see what that does. What if we long press that? I don't know, it's not doing anything now, so I'm sure it's me. We have mag/band, so we can cycle between the bands there, or we can long press it and then get to our quick band change thing, I guess you could call it. And then we have NW, I'm not sure what that's for, but that also does the mode, so we can, I think, long press that. You can get into all your different modes that way. And I guess we gotta touch it again. Oh, that's your filtering, narrow or wide is what that is. Okay, presumably receive filter. And then we have our split button there for doing split operations. I wonder what happens if we long press that. Oh, we did something. Oh, split, okay, I see. Yep. Then VFO memory and memory write. And then memory to VFO and MT. I'm not sure what MT is, but it's got that. Again, front firing speakers, which are fantastic. On the right side of the radio, we have, that's the port for our SD card, a micro SD card. This guy here, I believe, is where the Bluetooth chip gets installed. Doesn't come with Bluetooth or GPS factory. You gotta buy the Bluetooth thing, and then there's a GPS dongle that goes with this. On the back, we saw the battery already. We've got our HF antenna port here for up to 50 megahertz. And then we have our VHF UHF port here. Interesting, they put the HF on top and the VHF on bottom. Being a field radio, I would think it would be nice to have the VHF port on top, so you could put like a rubber dog, like a signal stick on here and monitor VHF locally, and then have HF for your HF antenna. But that's what they went with. The VHF is on the bottom. I think I can still make it work, but whatever. Nope. That's interesting. Then we have our ground lug here, and then we have these three ports that have these little rubber gaskets here. Now this is the DC 13.8 volt input, so we take that guy off. I guess you just gotta keep these in your pocket so you don't lose them, but that's the barrel connector there. And then we have the tuner/linear port that is there. That looks to be however many pins that is. And then your external speaker port. So all these come off. So $100 I lose these, but you have them. And then looking at the other side of the radio, we have a headphone port. That's interesting. So we have an external speaker port as well as a headphone port. So I wonder if there's different power outputs that go onto that. Then we have the port for a CW key. And then this port here is for their proprietary GPS dongle. I'm curious if smarter hams than I out there will figure out a way to use just a regular GPS dongle. This is smaller than a 3.5 millimeter, maybe a 2.5 millimeter plug. I think it's a TRRS that I saw on the dongle. Don't hold me to that, but that's there if you want to do GPS for this does do APRS, so that's how you would get the GPS signal lock. I think you can manually do it somehow, I'm not sure. And then here we have our USB-C for data communications and stuff like that. So that's cool. Built-in sound card, always nice. And then we have our mic port. That's the unboxing, guys. Hope you enjoy, and stay tuned for more videos using the Yaesu FTX-1F, and check that out. it also just stands at a nice, beautiful, easy viewing angle. My name is Mike, K8MRD. Thanks for watching Ham Radio Tube. We'll see you next time, 73.